Join us in Oconee Hill Cemetery in Athens, Georgia, as we talk to Vision Video lead singer and Goth Dad, of course, Dusty Gannon, about his connection to the B-52s, the city of Athens, and more on this special mini-episode of Grave Talks with Shannon Scott. So we've come to the grave, kind of a somber grave, but a very unique grave of a pyramid. The B-52s guitarist Ricky Wilson, who died really of full-blown AIDS, from what I understand, at 31 years of age. And so what are some of your associations here, Dusty?
Yeah, so this is this is who I come to visit here whenever I come to Oconee Hill, which is, I try to frequent because when I was, my first show that I ever saw, a live show of a proper band, was when I was 16. I saw the B-52s play sort of a reunion show at the famous 40 Watt Club on Washington Street. And I went there with my high school girlfriend, and her mom got us into the show because she knew the owner of the venue.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, yeah, bring the kids, because we were huge B-52s fans. This is around the time that I was really into goth and post-punk, and finding it more in a literal way through record stores here in Athens, like the Wuxtree and Low Yo-Yo and formerly School Kids Records, and all these really great institutions of music that we have here. And I would just go to all the vintage shops and sift through milk crates of records and stuff, and so I was really into the B-52s.
And by the way, if I may inject, shout out to those record stores you mentioned, because they all happily received your show posters and show cards. So,
they're still fixtures of the music scene.
And that's kind of like full circle for you.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's an amazing experience to have support from places that I spent so much time and money when I was a kid.
Well, please continue.
But yeah, so we went to the show, and it was my first time in a proper venue, a proper club, and it was a sold out show, and it was crazy how many people were in there. The venue's about, I think, a 600 cap, but maybe they'll be upset with me saying this, but there were definitely more than 600 people in there that night. But it was this electric performance. The second that they came out on the stage, it was just this wild experience of being. I was a very awkward, shy 16-year-old.
Yep.
I was a very introverted extrovert, I guess I would say. I had the desire to go out and enjoy extrovert things, but I was just so shy, and I was so reticent to express myself in a lot of ways. But I was around all these adults, who were dancing and having a great time, and I remember just being so fixed on the magic of what these people were doing on the stage, and how much energy they were putting out, and how it felt like this just sort of almost religious experience. It was this communal love of this band and everything that they brought to bear. So the B-52s to me are a huge influence on me musically, but also just, I think, culturally. I think they're such an important aspect of what makes Athens such a cool place, because here's this out of nowhere from this southern college town, this very, especially back then, very small southern college town. Here comes this queer dance punk band that just blew the music world away,
right?
And they had hit after hit after hit, and it's just so unique and so pure, and it's just it's such real music. It's authentic, but it's also just unabashedly fun.
Yeah. And Athens owes the B-52s a great debt.
Oh yeah, I mean, between them, Pylon, REM, Love Tractor, I mean, there's so many bands that really just set the stage to put this town on the map musically, and created to be known as a music town, and not just a college town or just a football town. there's a lot of other things that Athens is very well known for, but I think maybe the most important cultural nuance is of its music.
Yeah, and lucky you that you've drunk the water and you've breathed the air molecules.
Yeah.
So love it.
So yeah, it's cool, and I think that it's so sad that somebody like Ricky died, so young, and he had so much to give to music and to people. And my understanding of him is that he was a really amazing person.
Yeah, he was,
full of vibrancy and life, and
well loved. He was well loved.
Yeah. I think that that happens a lot in life where we lose a lot of artists, way before their time, and it's just so it's so upsetting, but it's also like affirming like how important art is, and the people that create it, and we don't value it enough, I think, in society. Part of kind of, as aforementioned, like music has become so commodified, and it's become such a product that
another product. Yeah.
And I mean, it's such a valuable part of my life, and I think for a lot of people, whether they realize it or not, it's such a valuable part of their lives. So I like to come here and just pay my respects to Ricky, and just like I don't know where my beliefs in sort of spirituality truly lie. I mean, I guess by classical definition, by a academic sense, you would call me an agnostic atheist, but I fully acknowledge, I think that from even some of the things that I've seen in my life, I think there is an unknowable reality going on that is far beyond our perception and our understanding. And I think that I like to believe that there is something more. And I don't try to wrap my head around it too deeply, because I don't think it matters, because I think wherever we go when we die, and whatever we are, it transcends even the highest notions of beauty and love and like our highest concepts of spirituality. I think probably don't even come close to what actually happens to us. So I like to think that coming out here and just giving somebody some time to say thank you, is important.
To commune with that energy. I think energy changes forms. We go on to live like the next dream.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it lives on. Otherwise it's like, I hate to say it, but what would be the point?
Right.
So energy is just so, forever. So like music, I hope too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, thanks for the insights and commentary about your connection to Athens and Oconee Hill and Ricky Wilson and all the other great stuff. Is there anything you want to talk about as far as like forthcoming here? As maybe some Ricky Wilson, good luck on future and endeavors. You got a new single coming out with a video. Can we talk about the magazine?
Of course. Yeah.
Okay, so you've got a 5-page spread. It sounds like, and a cover with Fangoria magazine.
Yeah, that's
amazing.
Wild. I mean, when I was a kid, I remember finding Fangoria on the newsstand at like a Barnes and Noble or something when I was a kid, and just being like, wow, this is like, I literally went up and bought it from the cashier, and I remember thinking like, I'm probably not going to be allowed to buy this, because it was a very graphic cover. It was from The Beyond. It was a retrospective look at, which is one of my favorite horror movies, Lucio Fulci in The Beyond. And I bought it, and the guy looked at it and was like, "Can you buy this?" And I was like, "I don't know, you tell me, man." And he scanned it, and there was no restriction. So anyway, that was like that was a really important moment, actually, because that really got me into like special effects makeup and horror. And I already kind of liked horror movies, but it brought my fascination deeper into that world, because I understood that there were a lot of people that enjoy this stuff to the point that there's a magazine for it. You
Yeah.
know, and that was a cool moment to realize
Heck yeah.
artist community around this. So I was an ardent Fangoria purchaser for a long time, and so now, with this, like, it's kind of a complete crazy, mind-blowing thing to be on the cover of it, let alone just to be in the magazine itself. So yeah, that's coming in a couple weeks. That'll hit the newsstands actually the same day that our single comes out, which is October 17th. So that's really exciting.
And the single title?
Well, I can't say because it's actually kind of a surprise.
Okay, fair enough.
It's a revisiting of an older song.
Aha.
We kind of reimagined it.
Neat.
So that'll be apparent in a couple weeks.
Sweet.
But, Fangoria is also premiering the video that we shot for it, which
good to know.
We did that at the 40 Watt Club. We wanted to pay homage to Athens in that video.
Yeah.
It's a horror movie in a video, but it's also a love letter to like the scene here and the town and music as a fixture of Athens. So that's really cool. I'm so unbelievably excited for that. Like, we have 5 makeup artists from The Walking Dead. We have character actors from The Walking Dead. We had local people involved. We had a crowd come for a show that we put on when we shot the video. So there's locals in it. There's the bartenders and staff are in it.
Love it.
It's this thing that is coalesced around what I perceive to be a really keen sense of community around music.
That's the word, community. Yeah.
So that's really cool, and that'll be out that same day. All of these things are on the 17th of October. And then we hit the road for a couple shows, like the Savannah show on the 31st.
Yeah.
Which I'm very excited about because there's, I think, probably no better place to spend Halloween.
It's a good one.
And then we've got our own music festival that we're starting this year. It's just one night this year with just a couple bands, but it's going to expand into 2 nights next year and just kind of grow. We're going to add like a film element to it, but that's called the Southern Gothic.
Nice,
and
nice.
That coincides with a thing that we do in Athens called the Wild Grumpus, which is a big free party. It's kind of a parade that you can just jump into, and it goes throughout the city streets of downtown, and it ends in this giant open air dance party. And then as soon as that ends around 10 or so, everybody kind of goes off to music venues. So it's a really cool experience.
That is cool.
So we're sort of attaching what will hopefully become a large kind of goth post-punk music festival.
Okay.
Attached to that, and that'll be at the 40 Watt.
We'll be happy to help support it.
Yeah. So, and then we got some other shows. We're playing Mississippi, Jackson, Mississippi Pride on the 7th, and then we go to Europe in November.
Amazing.
Yeah. And it's
amazing.
It's going to be a wild rush to the end of the year, basically.
Well, mate, stay healthy and vibrant and safe. And Dusty, it's been a real pleasure to spend some time with you here in the cemetery, and keep defining art for us, will you?
Will do. Yeah.
Awesome,
Thanks,
awesome.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you.